All right, welcome to today's training. And like I said, we did concatenation in the last class. All right, so for this class, we're going to be looking at arithmetic operators. Even though we've started with arithmetic operators, we're just going to look at arithmetic operators and look at some special ones we did not touch last time. And so basically, we all know how to do addition, subtraction. I showed us multiplication and division, right? The ones some persons might not be familiar with is the floor division, modulus, and exponent, right? Or exponential, as the case may be, right? So what exactly is a floor division? So I'm going to go to Google Colab now. Let me know if you can see my Google Colab notebook.
Yes, you can.
Okay, awesome. So addition, right? If you do 3 plus 3, I'm just going to increase this so that everyone can see this. Okay. All right. So if you do 3 plus 3, I wrote the codes for the class so that we'll not waste much time writing the code, okay? So just going to have this here. Okay. Okay, so 3 plus 3, if you run the cell, remember how you do this in Google Colab, is you run the cell. Okay, we have 6 as our outputs. All right, so if you do subtraction, just the way we know how subtraction works, 7 minus 2 is 5. Multiplication, if you do 2 times 2, that's 4. Do 2 times 3, that's 6. Right, so they are pretty basic. But all these things will be needed if you want to do, if you're writing like a programming language, maybe you want to write a program for a game, you would find this interesting. They look very basic, but they're very useful. All right, so if you do something like 8 divided by 3, if you use your pen and paper, that will be, let's do the calculation. All right, so we have 8 divided by 3, we have 2 whole number, right? So we have 2 left because 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. And then we have 2 left, right? So 3 and 2 is not possible. Then you add a 0, right? Remember the old long division thing we do back then. And then 3 and 20, that's 6, right? 6 times 3 is 18, right? So I think you understand what I'm trying to say. So please, if you don't understand, please, like I said, feel free to drop, a comment in the chat box. All right, so 2 divided by 3 will give us floats or decimal, right? Remember we looked at the float and decimal data type. Okay, so what is floor division, right? Floor division is you dividing something and only getting the whole number part, right? So for example, 8 divided by 3, we have 2.66 something, right? So floor division is we having just this whole number part. So this is the whole number part. Remember we did data type, right? We did integer, right? And we did floats or decimal, right? So this 2 is the whole number part, and this is like the decimal part, right? So floor division only gives us what? The whole number part of a division, right? So and this is how you denote a floor division in Python, by using 2//, right? So this is a // right? This is a backward slash. Where's my keyboard? Okay, yeah, this is a backward slash, and this is a // So doing floor division, we have 2 //. Okay, and then if you run this, it's divided for floor division 2 will give us 2, right? So let's look at modulus. What exactly is modulus, right? In Python, and when I say in Python, this also applies to other programming languages, right? So it's just that the way it's probably being done is different from how it is being done in Python. So the concept remains the same, like I said. Concept remains the same. It's just how you do these things in different programming language that differs, okay? So 5 modulus, 7 modulus 3. So what exactly is modulus, right? So if we have something like 5 modulus 2. What do you think that will give us? So modulus takes, remember floor division gives us the whole number of a division, right? Or the integer part of a division. Modulus gives us the remainder. So if I say 5 divided by 3 is what? 1, remainder 2, right? That remainder part is what modulus returns to us, right? So let me try that and say 5 modulus 3. So how you do modulus in Python is using the percentage sign, right? Just one of it, right? So 3 in 5 is 1, so we are left with 2, right? So if we do 5 modulus 2, for example, we should have 1, right? Do we all understand what modulus does?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So exponential, basically what exponential is what we know in basic maths, raised to power something. So if I say 3 raised to power 2, that's 9. So what raised to power means is 3 times 2. You are multiplying that same number, the number of times it is raised to. So if I say 3 raised to power 3, that basically means I'm saying 3 times 3 times 3. If I'm saying 2 raised to power 3, it means I'm saying 2 times 2 times 2. So anything that is raised, right? So it automatically duplicates, or let me say, it takes the number of the power, it replicates it that same time. So if you say 2 raised to power 3, it means 2 times 2 times 2, right? Which is 8, right? So, and how you denote exponential in Python is by using 2 asterisks. Okay, 1 asterisk is for what? Multiplication, while 2 asterisk is for what? Exponential. So if you run this will give us 8. Right, so we are quickly going to go to a concept called typecasting, right? And this is actually very useful. You'll be using this a lot in your programming journey, right? So what exactly is typecasting, right? We've understood what data types are in Python, and typecasting is basically you converting from one data type to another, right? That's basically what typecasting is. Because, and why would you want to convert from one data type to another, right? There are some special use cases where you have to do so. So for example, we mentioned concatenation in the last meeting, right? So, and intentionally, I did not include any integer, right? So we're doing basic things like Kende loves football. We, concatenated the strings together. Intentionally, I did not introduce an integer because I wanted to treat this first before doing that. So typecasting, for example, in concatenation, right? You can't concatenate a string and an integer together because they are not of the same data type, right? So typecasting will help you to convert from one data type to another, right? So, and in this context, right, you cannot necessarily convert, you might not be able to convert a particular data type to another, just like that. And we're going to see like an example of that. So for example, integer, right? An example of an integer, you have, let's say, excuse me. So you have, let's say 12, for example, right? 12 is an integer, right? And I want to say Fate is 12 years old, right? So if I say name equal to Fate, right? If I say age, for example, age, for example, is equal to 12. Now I want to just do something as basic as Fate is 12, right? So how will I go about that, right? So just to check. Okay, so Sharon, how would I concatenate this just from previous class knowledge? I don't think Sharon was in the last class. Okay,
No, I wasn't.
okay. Boluatife Bolu, how will I concatenate name and age? from our experience in the last class, from what we taught in the last class? Is Bolo there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So if I just want to concatenate name and age, how would I do that?
Okay, that would be name plus age, I think.
Okay, name plus age. Okay, so if you do this, right, there's going to be an error. And why is there going to be an error? Not because you did not understand the concept of concatenation, but look at this error, right? So like I said, as a programmer, one thing you learn is to read errors and understand errors, right? It's actually like a way of learning programming, and also a way to develop your programming skills, right? Debugging, right? So you can see it's giving us a type error, right? And if we read further, we can see it says it can only concatenate string, not integer to string. So what it's saying is that I can only concatenate string and string. I can't concatenate an integer and a string together, right? So what exactly are we going to do, right? So it's easy for us to just convert a number or an integer to a string, right? Remember how can we check? So for example, I want to check the data type of 12. I want to check the data type of age, and I want to check the data type of name. So how am I going to do that? Oladoyin. Yeah, Sharon, you should be able to answer that. I want to check the data type of name. How am I going to do that? What function am I going to use? Remember, we talked about a particular function that does that for us. So what function am I going to use to check who can help? What function am I going to use to check the data type of age, for example?
Type age.
Okay, so let's see. Type age. Okay. Awesome. So we have integer, right? And then if we look at this, for example, let's do type name, right? And if we run this, we see that as a string, right? So we can't join a string and an integer together. So how do we go about this, right? It's called typecasting. So what I want to basically do is I want to convert this integer age, right, to a string. And how do I do that? So to do that, we're going to do something like this. Okay. So to do that, if I do something like this, string, which is the data type of string, right, as a function, and I put 12 in it, right? If I run this, look at the outputs of this 12, right? It's different from 12, which is, so let's check the type of this. So I can just do something like this. I can say type of string 12, right? Okay, so you can see we have string, right? And do you know what I did here? I could have, assigned this to a variable. I could have said maybe A is equal to this and run this first, and then put and do something like this. And do type A, for example, right? So it's still going to give me the same answer, right? The only thing I've done here is I've assigned it to a variable first, and then I put this, as a variable name, right? So I can easily just substitute the variable here, which is string of 12, right, into my type function. Okay. So looking at this type A, right? So basically we can see this is a string, right? So it has converted our integer into a string. So if I want to do this, for example, if I want to do this concatenation, if I've done something like this, so let's look at our age. Our age is still an integer because we did not reassign it. We did not reassign it. I'm going to also talk about reassigning shortly. So if I want to concatenate name and age together without having the type error, I will do something like this: name plus string age, right? Remember this, when we did this here, we're having errors, right? So we're having an error, type error. But if we do this, let's run this and see what will happen. So this is saying fit 12, right? But what we need is what? Fit is 12, right? So I know somebody can easily do that for me. So I can say plus is plus this. And to add white spaces, I can just do this, right? And then run this. Right. So you can see we have fate is 12. All right. So let's do something real quick. Let's do another example. So let me say name. Okay, let me say name is equal to Yemisi. So Yemisi is answering this question, then followed by Ari, then Omolola. Okay, so let's see. Yemisi, let's say nickname, for example. It's a nick, right? So then let's say number is equal to 7. So my outputs that I want my output to be Yemisi likes 7, or Yemisi, okay. Yemisi is 7. No, I don't want to give us the same, question. So Yemisi left 7 days ago. That's fine. So Yemisi left 7 days ago. So Yemisi, how are we going to get these outputs using concatenation and typecasting, as we've learned just now? Please, we have limited time, so just unmute and speak. Is Yemisi here? Mulala, are you here? Okay. Who wants to help? Mulala, are you here? Yeah, who wants to help?
Okay, let me try.
Okay.
I wasn't in
Morning,
class.
everybody.
Hi, Omolola. Sorry, Faith. Omolola, go ahead.
I should go ahead with what? I just joined the class.
Okay, so that's fine.
was-
Faith, go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay, Faith, go ahead.
Okay, so we have Nick,
Okay,
space plus,
okay,
space, inverted comma.
inverted comma.
That's the string, sorry. That's the string comma, yeah.
Like
That's
this?
No, not that one.
You mean quotes?
Yeah, the quote, but the single quote.
Okay,
Yeah. Space,
okay,
left,
okay,
space. Then aside the last, quote, space plus, string, that's str,
okay,
yeah, bracket 7, yeah, then space.
Space between the
Space.
7? Or
Yes.
outside?
No.
Okay.
Outside. Yeah, outside.
Okay.
Here, then plus the quote.
Okay.
Space.
Okay.
Days. Space ago. No. Still
Inside. Okay. Okay.
ago.
Okay. So
Ah.
okay, yeah, we don't want to use 7 because we have a variable called we initialized already at 7. So what should that be? Yeah.
Sorry.
Here we don't want to use 7 explicitly because we already have a variable assigned to 7.
Yeah, sorry. So it's gonna be num. That's NUM.
So let's run this and see. Yeah, Missy left 7 days ago. Awesome. Thank you so much, Faith. Yeah, so basically we've checked out to typecast from integer to string. And so we can also typecast from other, data type. So for example, if I say bool and I pass in 1, for example, when I click on run, it gives me true, right? Boolean is true or false, right? So it has converted an integer to, a Boolean, right? If I do something like this, okay, if I do something like this, bool 0, right? When I click on this, you can see this is false, right? Because it knows 0 as false, right? And 1 as true. Okay. So you can also do Boolean of other, you can do Boolean of string. Let me say fate, for example. So because fate is an integer, right? This should return true, okay? Okay, sorry, a string, which is actually a real string, so should return true. So if I do something like this, Boolean of an empty string. So if I do Boolean of an empty string, that should return false. Okay, yeah, so you can see how we use Boolean to convert from one data type to another, right? So it's also the same thing if I use something like floats, right, to convert an integer. So let's imagine I want to convert 12. So floats, right? If I do 12, right? What do you think would be the answer of this? Anybody? Does anybody want?
12.0.
Awesome. Okay, so 12.0. Awesome. So right. So why did I teach us typecasting, right? There is a function in Python called the impute function, right? Remember we've learned about 2 functions now, 2, Python functions, right? These are impute functions, right? We'll still do, we'll see get to user-defined functions where we'll create functions ourselves, okay? So we've looked at the print function, we've looked at the type function, we've also looked at, these are data type, but typecasting, these are also functions that helps you convert from one data type to another. All right. The next function we're going to look at is the impute function. And what exactly is the impute function, right? It's an easy way to make a request from the user. So for example, I want to make it a little bit dynamic, right? So okay, so before now, right, I've been typing and say, I typed let me see, and then I typed 7, right? And I said, let me see, what was the question again? And then I typed, let me see, left 7 days ago, right? So for example, I want to make it dynamic, right? I want you to tell me when Yemisi, left, and then it automatically returns to me the day Yemisi left. So what if I want to just say, oh, Yemisi left 3 days ago instead of 7 days ago? Will I have to go back to the my variable and start typing in that, right? So I can have this dynamic, right? And also if you look at, for example, if you look at maybe a website and they ask you to fill in your details, right? Like maybe you have, let me just give us like a real life scenario, right? Maybe you are signing up to, you know, a website, for example, and then you put in your name, your age, and all of that, and then automatically when you're signed in, the thing shows you, oh, welcome, Omolola, welcome, Bolu, to this platform. And then it takes your name, right? So if Omolola signs up, it shows welcome, Omolola. If Faith signs up, it shows welcome, Faith. So how is that done dynamically? I mean, that's code, right? So nobody will do that in a manual way. So the impute function would definitely can help us achieve that, because it automatically takes in what we give and then outputs, you know, the results based on what we have programmed, right? So for example, and one thing you should know, and why, you know, taught typecasting, is that this impute function automatically returns string as its data type. So for example, you're going to see that real quick. So I'm going to create a new code. Okay. So I'm going to create a new code. Okay. So how do you, you know, type in the impute function? Just by doing imputes, right? And then, you know, having your brackets. Okay. So now you can see Collab is telling us that this, what should be here should be prompt, right? So we're going to look at what the prompt does, right? Okay. So if I type input here and I run this cell, for example, you will see what is happening. So you can see my cell is still running, and then we can see this thing here, right? So what this is telling me is that I want you to type in something, right? So I can just say Candy, or I can say Fred, for example, right? I can say Fred, then I would run the cell, okay? Right. Okay, so it's output Fred for me, right? That's simple, right? So, but you know, looking at it, right? Imagine you are logged in a web browser, right? Maybe your Chrome, your Safari, Microsoft Edge, or whatever. Okay, and then you want to sign up for, let's say, a tutorial, or you want to sign up for an event, and then you just see boxes here and there with no description of, okay, you have to type your name here, you have to type your location here and the likes, right? You know, that's like not a good user experience, right? So, and this is what we are also trying to do. So yeah, right, we're trying to have, so that anybody reading your code will understand exactly what you're trying to do. So for example, I want you to impute your name in this box, right? So that's what the prompt is used for. So I'll just say type your name here, right? This can be anything, right? So if I run this cell, for example, so you can see, right? This makes more sense, right? Type your name here, then I can see, oh, dot, for example. And then I run this cell. And okay, I stopped it. I'm going to rerun. Okay. So I'm going to run this cell. And then this is dots. Then I'll run the cell. Right? So it's saying type your name here, dots, right? For me, I think this is just like we have, you know, the concept of concatenation. If you're concatenating two variables, like you should have a space and then make it look really nice, right? So you can have a space here to just make this different, and probably even have something like a colon here, so that somebody will know that, oh, we're asking for name here, right? And then his name is dot. So if I do dot, for example, and then I run this, right? This is a much more better experience, right? Type your name here, and then we have dots, right? So imagine I want to say, I want you to type your name and then tell yourself, hello, dots, right? How do I go about that, right? So like I said, so we're going to save this, you know, in a variable, right? Remember, exactly why we need a variable, right? When we are doing something repeatedly, we can just save that value in a variable and use it as we go along in our code. So I'm going to save this as, let's say, first name, for example. First name is equal to this. Type your first name here. So I'm going to run this cell again, right? And then I would say Pamela, for example. Then I'll run the cell. So this is saying type your first name here, then Pamela. So if I run first name, for example, so if I run first name, let's see what first name gives us. So you can see first name is giving us Pamela, right? I've basically taken an input from myself, and then I can use this variable anywhere else, right? Just like we did in concatenation. So let's imagine we want to say welcome Pamela. So what do we need to do? We don't necessarily have to say type Pamela explicitly, because we've already done that through the input function, right? I've told my function, this is the name I want, right? My name is Pamela, right? And I've saved it in a variable called the first name. All right, so if I want to say welcome Pamela, right? What do I need to do? I can just say welcome, right? And then I'll say plus what first name, right? Everybody understands this, right? Then I'll run this. Can you see, right? Welcome Pamela. So let's put all of this in one cell and then run this cell. Okay, so let's imagine I want to say last name, for example. Last name is equal to inputs, and then type last name here. And then I will say, remember we mentioned the print function, right? So I can say print welcome to team. And I can say comma last name. I can say, let me just give a name. Let me say Nelly, for example. So can you see, right? So I've not done much, right? I've just basically taken my input that I gave my program, and then it's returned welcome to the team, Nelly, for me, right? So imagine when you're logging on a website and then you type in your name, and then in your after signing up, you see something like welcome on board, Bolu, welcome on board, Ari, right? That's just what has been done, right, in the background, right? They've taken the input function. This will be done dynamically. So if Toby is signing up, for example, it shows Toby name because Toby will type into the name box and say, oh, my name is Toby, right? So a quick one. Does everybody understand what I've done? And do you have any question?
Here I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, for the print, why did you use a comma and why aren't we using the concatenation last plus?
Okay. I think last class, there are two ways to actually, okay, I'm not sure I mentioned it last class. Okay, so we can actually do like, plus, right? Let's see. Let's see that. So I can just do something like this. You can do, so there are two ways to write something in your print function, right? So the first is the normal concatenation you know already, right? Concatenating one string to the other, right? The second way is using comma. So what comma does is it's basically adds it up using white space at its the value it's used to concatenate. So you can see when I'm doing print function, right? I have to take into consideration my white space, right? But if I'm using comma, I don't need to put the white space. It automatically adds, anything I'm concatenating together, it automatically adds the white space for me. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, so that's nice. Nice question. Okay, so that's about that. The impute function. So if there is no question, Ari followed by Francis. Francis, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Ari, are you here? I'm trying to make the class as interactive because that's actually like the better way to learn, to try your hands on these things. Ari, please, you can share your screen. Francis, you can share your screen.
Okay.
Yes, please share your screen.
So you are sharing, I cannot share while others are sharing.
No, you can share now. I stopped sharing.
All right.
Okay. Yes, we can see your screen. So we want to have some exactly. I like the way you're doing this. Like the way you're doing this. But then you can see what we have in your screen, for example, where you have hello, comma name, right? You don't need that white space after the hello because the comma automatically adds, exactly. So let's do something real quick. I think that there's background noise coming from your end. Okay, so let's do this real quick. Let's do something like name. Or let's do country and age.
Okay.
Country is equal to, so type the name of your country here, and then the next variable will be age. Type in age, type how old your country is here.
Okay.
So we're going a little bit overboard. We just want to go a little bit complex, just a little bit. Country, age, awesome. So I like the way Francis is doing this, right? Remember I talked about having a descriptive name for your variable. Awesome. So instead of you, because we want to share this code to everybody, right? We don't want to, you can be from Nigeria. This training is not just for people in Nigeria, right? Some folks are joining from the US, right? So I want to just type, I don't want to, have a static way of writing my country, or I mean, like Nigeria is about 60 something years, right? US is different, right? So I want my user to be able to put in these values and then it returns exactly what I want it to return. So instead of Nigeria, I want to have something like type the name of your country here.
Okay. All right. So then the compute function.
Type the name of your country here. Name of country, or just do anything. Name of country.
Okay, I want to just use what is the name of your country.
Awesome. So age
Okay,
2.
can I add? Okay.
Yeah, you can add a question mark. That's how it's supposed to be. Make it very interactive. Yeah.
Okay, can add a space here too.
Exactly. So also for age.
Call the input function also. Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, so we want to
Yeah.
have something like, imagine we now have something like Nigeria is 20 years old. So how would you do
Okay.
that?
Okay.
So
I'm
imagine
calling-
you typed Nigeria as country and then you type 20 as age.
So
So-
I'm calling the print function here. Okay.
So I want to have a result like Nigeria is 20 years old, USA is 100 years old. So yeah,
Any of the country, right?
yeah, any of the country, just based on what our user would type in, right?
Okay. Okay, then we have oh. Okay, so let's say we run our program. Let's say Nigeria. Let's say 20. Oh, sorry, I missed something. Sorry, I missed something there. Okay, so let's run our program again. Okay, 20. Oh, sorry, I mean that. So otherwise, so let me stop and rerun.
Yeah, you can stop it.
All right, there we go.
Okay, awesome. So I want you to modify your code, right? Instead of
Okay.
using comma as what you use in your print function, I want you to use the plus, which is the actual concatenate symbol, concatenation symbol.
All right.
Yes. And then, okay.
Can I run the program now?
Yes.
Okay. Invalid syntax. Am I getting an invalid syntax? Let me just go through it again.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad you're saying you want to go through it again. Because even as you learn, you need to understand that you have to learn how to read.
Okay, so I think I'm having a problem from this point. Yeah.
You might want to check after is. That's where the problem is coming from.
Okay. Content copy. Sorry, I think I mixed it up now.
So look at after your white space, there is no concatenation symbol.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then you program now. Okay, got it. All right, done.
Okay. So what will happen, right? Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to also call you back. Francis, you're
Alright.
still going to do something for us. All right,
Okay.
but
All right.
I'm going to share my screen
Okay.
right away.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. So looking at this, right? We have, can you all see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, awesome. Now we're going to look at something called reassignment, okay? So if I say something like, okay, I'm going to say something like this. So let's imagine a scenario where we have, so for every name you give or every, integer like your age, for example, let's say we want to say Nigeria is 40 years old, but what I've said is that if your country is 40 years old, I want you to give me like half of the value, and then I want to print out the actual value. So for example, if Nigeria is 40 years old, I want you to type Nigeria, I want you to type Nigeria here, and in your age, I want you to type 20 so that I can give out Nigeria is 40. Do you understand what I said just now? Okay.
No, I didn't follow. I didn't get that.
Okay, so just hold on. We're going to look at reassigning variables. So for example, if I have something like this, age is equal to 10, it's equal to 10, right? If I have age is equal to 10, right? And here again, I'm saying age is equal to 25, right? What will be my, if I call age here now, what do you think the output of age will be? Is it 10 or 25?
25.
Awesome. Okay. Francis, you might want to go on mute. When you need to talk, I will ask you to unmute.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right. So what if I have something like this? Age is equal to age plus 5, right? What do you think this will be? So what I'm saying is I'm saying, oh, I have age before, which is 25, right? But that my 25, I want to increase it by 5, right? So I want my new age, instead of, having to go through this step, right? I want my new age to be what? 30, right? So I'm saying age is equal to what? Age plus 5. And my current age is what? 25. And when I add 5, it's what? 30. So if I do age is equal to age plus 5, and I call age now, my age should give me what? 30. Please, do we all understand reassigning of variables here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Okay, awesome. So look at something. I'll copy this, and then I'll copy this here and paste here. All right, so let's imagine my age is 2, right? If I run this cell, for example, age is 2, okay? I'm saying I want my new age, right? Remember our age now is 2 because this is like the latest cell I ran, right? So my new age is 2. I want to add 5 to my age, right? And I can do this like this. And then after doing that, I want to see like what is the new age, right? So if I click on this, just should give me 7, right? Awesome. If I do something like this, age plus equals 5, and then I want to see the result of my age. This year, this thing here is the same as what you have here. Okay. This year, this and this are actually like the same thing. Okay. It's just 2 different ways of doing it. So if you are confused on how to do it, just use this. Nobody's going to penalize you. But sometimes when you're reading other people's code, right, they, for people that are advanced or they understand how to do this, right, they just use something like this so that you don't get confused, right? They're basically what's the same thing, right? So if I'm saying age plus equals 5, right, I know that my current age is what, 7, and then if I'm adding 5, I should get what, 12, right? Can you see we have 12? Okay, so imagine now, so this is the task for you, Francis, right? So before now, you have, name of country to be Nigeria, for example. You have the age to be 20. So I want you to print out something like Nigeria is 40 years old using reassignment. So let me just do a demo for you. So for example, if I have age is equal to 4, right? And I'm saying I want you to reassign age for me to be 8. So what I want from you is age, what is equal to what? Age multiplied by 2, right? So, and then if I look at what age is now, age is 8, right? So in your print statement, I want this instead of you just calling age. Do you understand what I just said, Francis?
Yes, I do. I understand.
Yes. So you want to share a screen and try that for us? While I'm saying that is because I want to reference what I just taught, which is typecasting. I'm going to see that this is going to give us an error when we do it. So share your screen and then let's go from there.
Okay, so in my print statement,
Yes.
you want country age
Mm-hmm.
to be country age.
So that will, no, so okay, look at something what we are going to do. Now, if we print out this statement, we are going to have Nigeria is 20 years old, right?
Yes, yeah.
So after that country age equals to the user input, I want you to reassign country age to take the value of what the user gives us and multiply by 2.
Okay.
Just the way I reassign age to be a new value.
Okay.
Awesome. So you don't necessarily have to change what is in your print function because automatically it takes what is in the country age, right, and then multiplies it and gives you a new that same variable country age. Okay. So if you run the cell,
sorry, sir. Now, if my number, can I convert it to a string, or is it okay like
that's the trick we want to do here. So if you run this cell, I want you to run this cell now.
Okay.
And let's see what happens. Definitely this should give us it's not going to give us what we want, right? So can you see what it's giving us?
Yes.
Okay, so so if you multiply a string, it's not okay. Remember what I said when I was talking about the input function? I said, so, and let's confirm that, okay? Now we want to see the type of country, right? So what data type is country? Yeah. No, just run it in another cell. If you run it in that same cell, it will ask you to run it, yeah, another cell. So perfect. Okay, no, perfect. Okay, perfect, no.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
So hold on, before, why did it not run?
The country, the capital,
Exactly, title case. Okay.
I the
Yes.
screen.
Okay, awesome.
So,
Let's check for country age.
in a new cell.
Yes, in a new
Organize
cell.
this cell. Okay.
In a new cell.
Just a screen.
Awesome. So you can see why that is giving us 2020 instead of 40, right?
Mm.
So imagine you're playing a game, right? Imagine you're playing a game that was built with Python, and then the game says type in any number and I will give you the I will multiply the number for you by 2. Imagine you create just a game for a child, and then you want the child to understand multiplication tables, right? And then the game is simple, basic. Put in a number and I will multiply the number for you by 2, right? And then the child puts in 20 and then the child sees 2020, right? Like, what's going on? So what is happening here is that input function automatically returns its value as a string. And that's why you can see when we checked the type for country and country age, we can see what string, right? So if you want to change anything that you think should be a string or is an integer, you want to change it to an integer, you automatically do what we call typecasting. Right, so you can typecast your country age to be an integer. So Francis, can you typecast for us? So we want to typecast country age to be an integer.
Okay, like that.
Okay. So let's run it again and let's see. Use a different country now, or you can still use Nigeria, which is fine. Exactly. Awesome. Look at another problem we're having. This is interesting, right? So we've solved the first problem, which is this would not, give us 2020, right? It will give us 40. But then in our print statement, we cannot concatenate what? So read the
Can only concatenate string, not integer.
to string.
We've already converted it to integer.
Exactly. So then again, after you've typecast into an integer, right, which will give us our country age now as 40. But then again, when we want to print out our results, it cannot concatenate string and integer together. So it means that you have to typecast again the new country age to a string.
Okay, in a new, okay, country, string. Like that.
Awesome. Let's try that.
Do you have a question?
Yes, hold on. I would answer you in a bit. Nigeria.
Oh, now I see.
Okay, you can see how we started, right? And that's why I'm saying like we should all pay keen attention. Francis, you can go on mute. Yeah, Faith, you can ask a question.
Can I come sharing my screen?
Just hold on.
All right, okay.
Do you understand now?
Okay. In line 2 here.
Okay.
In line 2, that's country age.
Mhm.
How about we just go straight up, like we use INC in brackets, input, type in your country age. Then we'll have to skip line 3. Line, sorry, no, line, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I totally understand what we are trying to say. So, you know, we can do that, right? But you know, we are doing like a basic level. So if I do that, for example, some people will be confused, right? Remember how we started from, you know, basic things. So we're bringing everything together. Probably in our next class, we can do all of this in one line of code, right? Because you understand. So when you look at the code, you will understand, oh, what this is doing, right? So we can do that exactly, Faith. We can typecast in that first, the second, you know, code, which is country age is equal to int of country, right? So we can actually do that. Just
Okay.
yes, we can actually do that.
Lastly, please.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
actually using my phone. Yeah, I'm using the Google Collab on my phone, and in that first line, like after running the code where it would display what is the name of your country, and then after typing country, I pressed done, but it's not bringing in the type in your country line, like your country age line. I don't know.
Okay, we can look at that after the class.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
so any more question? Who has questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, please ask.
Okay. After I run my first line, sorry. Okay. After I run my first line, it bring out country. What is your country name? But once I input the country Nigeria, then it gives an error.
Okay, do you want to share a screen?
Okay. Okay. Are we seeing the screen?
Yeah, you might want to expand to see clearly.
Okay. Sorry.
Can you expand your browser so we see exactly what's going on? No, I mean like make your browser full screen.
Yeah, that's what.
Just go to the top. Go to the top.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So type in Nigeria, for example. You've typed in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
So no, not that. That's not where you're going to go. You are stopping the code if you are clicking on that.
Okay.
You're saying stop execution. So type in Nigeria, for example.
Okay.
Yes, click on Control Enter your keyboard. Okay, then type in the age. So I want you to debug this code. I want you to make it readable because right now I'm saying Nigeria's 40 years and old.
Yes, okay, wait.
So yeah, make it readable.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's put another, okay, 20. So we still have an issue, right? It should be years old, and then, yeah, good. And it should be years old, years old. Yeah. Okay, so we can know that this thing is actually dynamic. I want you to use a different country name and a different country age. Oh, not that, just put years. Just S. So use a different country name and a different country age. So we know that, oh, this is actually dynamic. It's not only Nigeria. Okay, awesome. Right. So yeah, so we are, 2 minutes before the end of the class. Okay, so awesome. Thank you so much. I think which sharing is on screen. Can't find the name. Okay, so all right, so that's about it. We've learned the input function, we've learned how to use the print function, we've learned how to use the type function, we've learned about typecasting so far. So you can see how you use typecasting. These things we're learning, everything is going to be used, and that's why we're taking time to explain. I'm taking time to explain, and also so that we can try our hands on these things and then understand how to do it ourselves. You can also be able to use Google Colab and Slack, right? All these things were taught about. Okay, so please, that will be the end for today's class. I hope you learned a lot, and I will see you in the next class. So I'm going to stop sharing.